Coming up next, I'm going to tell you what Tom Brady's been reading for a long time and how it affects his success and why passion isn't enough. Your physical health is a big part of this deal. We're going to take your calls and your chats, and it starts now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Solutions Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do that, and then how to get there. It is about your path and about your purpose. You were created to fill a unique role in this world. That means you are needed, and it means you must do it. Somebody out there needs you to be the best version of you, not a knockoff version of you. And so we're here to help you figure out what that path is, get on the path, get there. That's it. That encompasses everybody. So if you're on the ladder, Ken, I want to move up the ladder. I want to get promoted. We're going to help you. And we're going to talk about that later in the program. This is hitting me right between the eyes. This is going to be a very personal message today. This idea that your passion is not enough. The physical health is so important to you becoming who you want to be and doing what you want to do. And as a 46-year-old dude who is high on passion, I mean, I challenge anybody to love their work more than I love my work. There's so much more to it, and we've got to pay attention to it. So we're going to have a real talk a little bit later, and it's going to encourage you, not discourage you. 844-747-2577 is the number to jump in on the phone. 844-747-2577. All right. So Madison put this article on my desk. Tom Brady's been reading this self-help book for years, and he said it's become a mantra. And I make no apologies for being fascinated by what other successful women and men do. I'm fascinated. I am a personal growth junkie, a personal growth detective, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not endorsing this book. You got to be careful these days. I've not read it. I'm going to read it. But I thought there's some great content in this. And again, a guy like Tom Brady who does, honestly, the unthinkable at the age of 43, with a new team, new coach, wins another Super Bowl. Well, there's a reason why guys like him are successful. It's not an accident. And I will tell you this. It's not that Tom Brady, his success isn't all about his greatness as a football player. I think sometimes we think it's just unearthly, otherworldly talent, and we make it about all that, and it's not. Talent isn't the whole picture. And so this is interesting. The book is called The 4 Agreements, a practical guide to personal freedom. Now, the 4 agreements are this. Be impeccable with your word. That's just integrity. Be honest. Say what you mean what you say. 2, don't take anything personally. Oh, can I just park here for a second? Okay, I'm a public figure. And so anytime, Joe, somebody says something negative about the show or a negative book review or whatever, hey, I'm the product. I am not selling refrigerators. Not that there's anything wrong with selling refrigerators. But it's one thing to sell a product or a service and somebody bash the product or service. It's another thing when you're the product. So when somebody says, that Ken Coleman Show, it's just a bunch of whatever. Which, by the way, I can't even finish a sentence because Joe will attest to this. I do not read the negative reviews. I don't think that's good for anybody. There's nothing to learn from a negative review. I just got to tell you. Get feedback in your life from people who can be constructive, but just somebody out there hating on you behind a keyboard. Let me tell you about keyboard critics. If I sat those jokers in front of me, they wouldn't have the guts to even say half of what they type. Bunch of cowards. All right. My point, it's hard not to take stuff personal. But boy, what a great aim. Hey, it's not personal. They meant it personally. I don't need to take it personally. It's got to be about the big picture. That was my takeaway. Really challenging. Number 3, don't make assumptions. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This gets us in so much trouble. This gets us in so much trouble. Don't make assumptions. Oh my goodness. This is like world wars are fought on assumptions. Dig, ask questions, get firsthand knowledge. Can you please, in your personal life, in your professional life? Hey, somebody said something about this. Boom, go talk to them. Did you say that? What'd you mean? Don't assume that what you hear is what was said. Oh my goodness, get you in big trouble. Finally, always do your best. Again, tough one here. I think we all want to do our best. We parents, oh, do your best, do your best, do your best. How often do you do your best? Let that one sit for a second. Hello. I mean your best. I mean, listen, I got to give my best on this show. Right now, I got to give my best. Always do your best becomes this crippling, paralyzing thing for people, as opposed to going, no, wait a second. Give my best doesn't mean be perfect. You know, maybe I'm tired today. Maybe my allergies are bothering me, or maybe I've got some stuff going on in my personal life, and no matter how hard I try to focus, maybe I don't have that spark today that I do on another day. Whatever it is, I still got to give my best, and sometimes our best is 50% of what it was the day before, because the reality is you got to grasp that. That's okay. If you have listen, moms, working moms, you got a baby that got an earache or toothache and up all night, you only got 3 hours of sleep. Let me tell you something. Your best on that day is not going to be as good as your best on 8 hours of sleep. That's just clinically true. So don't beat yourself up. Life is real. Life happens. Give your best what your best is today. And I think that will set some of you free. Because what happens is when we as humans feel like we're not getting our best, it only takes about 3 or 4 of those days till we get discouraged. And we go, I can't ever do my best. Something's wrong with me. And then all of a sudden, just like that, it's like we put on a big, heavy cape of discouragement. Whew. That's good teaching right there. That's just good. Somebody needs to rewind that and listen to that again. Somebody needs to share that with somebody. Do your best. You got to have context on that. And sometimes your best is way off what it could normally be. But on that day, it's your best. You know what that says to me? You showed up. You didn't quit. I'll take 20% of you as opposed to nothing. Remember that. When we talk about work that matters on this show, this isn't a bunch of gobbledygook that I say to motivate you. I mean it. You were created to fill a unique role. You are needed, you must do it. What does that mean? It means you were created to contribute in this world. Give everything you got, and on that day, today, give the best that you can that day. And when it's all said and done, that kind of attitude, that kind of effort, it's going to yield great results, and you'll have no regrets at the end of your journey. I promise you. What is your best today? Own that, and then give it. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Let's go to David in Flowery Branch. I went the wrong line. David, hang on. We'll get to you in a second. Sometimes I pick the wrong name up there. There's a yellow line and a green line. I'm supposed to take the yellow line, but I will tell you that green means go. And it's new software on the screen, and sometimes I still pick the green number. I didn't this time, Madison. I saved it. I got to pull it back. We're going to go to Eddie in Columbus, Ohio. Eddie, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. I've written my initial question down for brevity.
Okay, great.
I'm 34. I'm in baby step 3. About 5 years ago, I was seeking a way to make as big of an impact for God's kingdom as I could. One day, the answer hit me like a lightning bolt. I was going to use the scientific method to research morality. I reasoned that the social sciences were the best way to do so. This made sense since I had always been interested and gifted in psychology. So fast forward to now, I'm about 3 months away from earning my bachelor's degree in psychology. I'm very gifted in this field and absolutely love it when it's rooted in a Christian worldview. But since the field at large is rooted in a secular worldview, which stands against the basic tenets of Christianity, I have not enjoyed learning as I otherwise would. This makes study terribly difficult on me emotionally because I feel like I'm defending myself against lies rather than absorbing the truth. Obviously, psychologists themselves are good people, but the beliefs are what concern me. I'm currently not planning to go to graduate school and was looking for some guidance from you about what might be a way to use this degree in my passions. Thank you.
Yeah. So totally understand where you're coming from, understand what you're feeling, and I think I got a good idea why you're feeling that. But what you've got to do is you got to make a shift here, and you got to understand that this psychology degree falls under the category of do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. And so you study the science of psychology. You don't get hung up in the philosophies that you disagree with, because that's the reality. So there is the study of psychology, and then it is you can't study any textbook or study any program that has been created by another person about psychology without getting some of their philosophy. And it is the philosophy of psychology that you're having problems with. But you need to study the actual psychology and say, what do I sift out here? It's like the old, I've been watching this show. I forget what channel it's on. It's on one of those National Geographic channels or something like that. But these are real life, current day people that are mining for gold. And they're still doing a little the old, what we've seen on television growing up, or maybe we've gone to some outdoor place where they let you sift for minerals, and you've got that grate, like a wooded grate, and you stick it down in the water, and you pull it up and you shake it out, and you're looking for the gold or the minerals, right? I think that's you right now. You're going, hey, I've got a sifter here. I'm going to sift through this stuff, and I'm going to study the psychology itself, how the brain works, how the emotions come into that. And I'm only looking for those nuggets that are going to help me. I've already got my worldview, so I don't need the worldview part. So largely ignore the worldview and don't feel like you're under attack. Just say, hey, I'm planning to do things a little different, but I'm studying something that has been around a long time. And there's a whole lot of methodology and philosophy that you will reject, and that's okay. So don't be discouraged, be determined. That's my word for you. Determined to do it the way you believe you should do it. What do you want to do with the psychology degree? What's the end result?
Well, and like I said, initially I wanted to do research to study morality. I kind of wanted to do like write a book or maybe speak, even do something like you do.
Okay, but here's the deal.
None of
that stuff that you're dealing with that's feeling like it's weighing you down or that you're in a fight, none of that matters to any of that you want to do. I just set you free, Eddie.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm not joking. I heard it when you went, Dude, you're creating a prison that doesn't exist. You're free from that stuff. Get the degree, man. You're 3 months away, man. You're ready to fly. Right?
Yeah.
So here's what you do.
Actually,
go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's funny because my friends kind of say stuff that is very similar to that. So
yeah, well, your friends are really sharp people. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm not saying anything profound. But when I say I'm setting you free, that's not me having fun and posturing and patting myself on the back. I'm saying I'm setting you free from that thought that you are somehow in this battle, in this fight. And I get it. You're so deeply passionate about the way you want to do this and what you believe about psychology from a Christian worldview, and some of the stuff you're reading, it's like getting poked all the time. But get over it. Get over it. Put your big boy pants on and finish this deal and go do it the way you want to do it. So here's my last piece of practical advice, okay? What I want you to do is to offset that stuff that you're reading and dealing with. You need to be reading other people who see the world the way you see it, who see psychology from a Christian worldview.
Okay.
Are you familiar with a guy by the name of Chip Dodd?
No, actually, I'm not.
All right, buy all of his books as soon as we get off the phone. He's a friend of mine. Chip's amazing. The way he sees psychology and all that through the Christian worldview, it's brilliant, brilliant stuff. And start consuming other stuff that you agree with, and that's going to lift you. And then you need to just get over this other stuff. Time to get on with it. You got this. 844-747-2577. David is up now in Flowery Branch, Georgia, home of the Atlanta Falcons. That's where their training facility is. I've been in their training camp several times. And a beautiful facility in Flowery Branch, Georgia, just north of where I live, Joe, not far from Gainesville, Georgia, where the Ken Coleman Show debuted many years ago. David, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how's it going?
David, I'm living the dream. What's going
on? I have a question. So a little bit of my background. I'm 30 years old, and I've only done general studies in my when I tried college out a few years ago, because finally know what I want to do with my career after I've been in the hourly workforce for a few years.
Which is what?
So
what do you want to do?
I want to become a barber.
Nice. So what's your question?
So I have two young kids, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and also my wife is currently in school. She'll be finished in July. She's pursuing becoming an esthetician. Now, if you're familiar with how that works, she'll be starting out where she won't make as much money as someone experienced, so treat it like she's starting her own business. Now,
right.
My question is, when should the best time for me – I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. When do you recommend that I consider starting school? Because I want to be sure she gets in there, is secure in her career, and also that I know when the best time for me to start taking night classes.
And you're talking about barber school, yes?
Yes.
How long is that program?
If you go full-time, it could be as minimum as 9 months or a year. And if you go part-time, that could take approximately maybe 15 months.
So that's – and I think part-time is your play, right?
Yes.
So the win comes down to me. It's a math issue. Sounds like it's a money issue. Am I right? How much is the barber school going to cost you?
There's one private one that I was said around ballpark of $4,000. And one thing I was also recommended I could do that could help with credit hours is start in cosmetology. Then it grandfathers me into not need as many credit hours, as a bridge to barbering. So I have background in both.
So why is that not a slam dunk decision?
I don't understand your question.
I'm sorry. Why then? I was just being cute, I guess. Why wouldn't you take the cosmetology route? That seems like that's the better route. That's a no-brainer, slam dunk, right?
Yes. No, I do plan on that. My question is when the best time to start it is.
Okay, but the best time is the best time. To me is if you're going to have to cash flow your way through that, right? You don't have that money saved up, the $4,000?
No, sir.
Okay, so the cash flow is what I'm saying is the issue. So I think you do it once she starts making decent income and you guys budget this out. It comes back to the budget. All right, so it's all about you move at the speed of cash. So I don't want you going into debt for this. At Ramsey Solutions, we don't believe in debt. And so we're going to cash flow this. So we either save the $4,000 up and then do it, or once the wife starts making an income to the point that you guys can put that money aside each month in your monthly budget and pay your way through it, okay, then that's when you do it. So it's either I wait until I save up the $4,000, or I wait to start until the wife's making enough money that through our monthly budget, that means your housing, your bills, your utilities, housing, utility, food, transportation, all that, everything plus barber school is a part of your monthly budget. You've got it. It's covered. I think that's when you do it. Either or. Those are your two options. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, man. So my point is that timeline could be faster than July. If you take on a second job right now, you guys sell some stuff. I just wonder, do you have $500 to $1,000 worth of stuff in your house? I don't know. You don't have to answer that. But if I sell some stuff, if I get some odd jobs or some projects on the weekend, how soon can I save up the $4,000 to where we don't have to rely on my wife's new esthetician income at all? So I think you got two options there: save it or cash flow it. And you'll get there, man. And that's when you do it. And you go all in. You do the night school, and you won't see the kids as much, but guess what? They're 2 and 5. They don't care. They don't even understand time. And before you know it, you're done. Whether it's 9 months, 15 months, it was probably going to be the 15-month part-time deal, but you've cash flowed your way through it, and you kept your day job, and now you're ready to go. And this thing will be a really nice transition. That's what I want for you. Got it?
All right. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, man. Hey, when you get to Nashville sometime, come see me. We'll do a haircut in the old lobby. Maybe we'll do that on the YouTube show. What do you think, Joe? I get the whole cape, the whole 9 yards. I get a little trim.
We can do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would be very entertaining. It was a joke. I don't think anybody wants to watch anybody get their hair cut. Certainly not me. 844-747-2577. Quick break. When we come back, we'll take some chat room questions, and I'm going to teach on how important your physical health is to your purposeful journey. This is the Ken Coleman Show. We were drawn to Christian healthcare ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it. Welcome back. This is the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you make progress. What does progress look like for you? Now, we're talking about progress in your work, progress in your purpose, because we think they're linked. And I don't think that. I know it. I believe it passionately. You were created to contribute. Your work in your life, they need to be interwoven, because this is where we make a contribution to the world that we know we're supposed to make. And so we're talking about making progress, to doing work you love, and creating results that matter deeply to you. That's what we talk about. So wherever you are on the journey, we're here to help you get clarity where you need clarity, and then get moving forward and make progress. So you got some multiple choice questions for me. You've got, hey, Ken, I want to get promoted. Ken, I need to figure out what direction to go in. I know where to go. I'm not quite sure how to do it based on my debt, my finances, my marriage. We're here for you. Come on. You're one phone call away from help. 844-747-2577. To the chat room we go, because you can send your questions to the chat room. Natalie writes in, should my husband leave his job of 10 plus years for one in the nonprofit sector that pays less? We're still working to get out of debt. This is one where, again, there's a lot of factors here. I'm not for someone taking a pay cut when they're paying off a sizable amount of debt. Small amount of debt that we can get rid of through odd jobs, selling stuff, 2 or 3 jobs, whatever, a short term, hustle, knock it out, then I'd be okay with it. I'm not okay with you changing jobs for a significant pay cut while you're paying off debt. I would rather you get engaged with Ramsey Plus, where we can give you the tools and guide you through getting out of that $60,000 worth of debt and delaying the move to the dream job until we're financially able to do so. That would be my answer all the time. Get the debt. You got to get your financial house in order. It makes everything else so much easier and so much more effective. You don't want to move into something that you believe is your dream job for a significant pay cut when you are in financial stress. Because you could think it's the dream job all you want to, but if you're dealing with debt, it affects you in so many ways. And that can cause confusion as well. That job is still going to be there. Let's go to double stars. Is there anything morally wrong with working 2 remote positions at the same time? That's a loaded question right there. Because on the surface, I would say, based on the way that question is written, no, there's nothing morally wrong with working 2 remote positions at the same time. It's like somebody asking me, is it morally wrong to work 2 jobs? I would say, well, no, but I want to know more. And the devil is in the details. If you are working a full-time remote position and they think that you're full-time and that you're giving them 40 hours a week, then you better be giving them 40 hours a week. And if you're working another remote position that thinks you're working 40 hours a week, I got news for you. You better be working 40 hours a week. And my quick calculations, I'm not good at math, is that's 80 hours a week. I don't think you're doing that, double stars. So now we do have some moral problems. See, and by the way, I'm going to tell you, this is really interesting, Madison. I'll bet you this is happening a lot. I'll bet you a bunch of money that this is happening more than we realize because of remote work. There's no camera in there. They're not seeing you clock in. They're not seeing you at the office. You're just kind of over there. And I bet you there are a bunch of people, Joe, that do this because they're very effective. They can get their job done. And they go, oh, I'm going to go get another full-time remote job. I'm doubling up, baby. Well, here's what I know from that question. You're feeling something, or you wouldn't have sent that question in. Why are you feeling it? Because you know it's not right. And so if I have deduced this question down properly, then, it is morally wrong for you to have 2 full-time remote positions and you're not giving them both full-time time. Because here's the reality. The very word remote is the operating word in this question. Because if the question was, is there something wrong with working 2 full-time jobs at the same time? We would laugh at that person. We would say, you can't do that. It's impossible unless you're working days and nights, which not very many people are willing to do that either. So, you know it's wrong, but thanks for asking. Do what's right. You want to make more money, find the right way to do that. Because I'm going to tell you something, that's eventually going to catch up to you. I absolutely guarantee you. Hey, I want to mention Ramsey Plus a little bit more detailed because I just mentioned it in this first question from the chat room. Ramsey Solutions, it's the mothership of the Ken Coleman Show, founded on Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to financial freedom and financial peace. And so we have a great new program called Ramsey Plus. And so you're going to get 3 major elements plus a whole lot of stuff. But for those of you who are going, Ken, I know what the dream is. I know what I want to do, but I've got a bunch of debt. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I don't even know how I could afford the training that I need. So your money is a big part of your journey to meaning in your work. So hear me. For 90 days, you can kick the tires on Ramsey Plus. 3 major tools. 1, Financial Peace University. 9-week series that teach you how to get out of debt, save, budget. Shows you the clear path to financial peace. 2, the world-class budgeting app, Every Dollar. Connect it to your bank account if you want, or you can do a lesser version where you can budget out every dollar. It's on your phone, iPad, computer, always there. When we know where our money's going, it's a huge, huge game changer. And you can really learn how to budget well with that. And then finally, if you're paying off debt, our Baby Steps Tracker app where you can see that progress every month as you're paying stuff off. And that's what creates momentum when we emotionally see progress. I can't say this enough. The biggest hurdle for some people in pursuing meaningful work, doing work that they love, that accomplishes results that matter to them, is their money. And so, look, this isn't the Dave Ramsey Show, but I'm a co-host hosting 3 Hours with Dave today on The Ramsey Show. Renamed it, by the way, Ramsey Show. I can answer those money questions too. Your money is a big, big role in pursuing working with meaning. So Ramsey Plus, try it out. All you got to do is go to daveramsey.com, sign up for a free trial today, and try it. If it doesn't work, no risk. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Okay, I just want to teach on this, and then I'm going to get to the phones. We'll do one more call. I just want to make a point because I'm going to start talking about this more on the show. So this is a challenge, but I'm going to beat this drum steadily on this program because I've not talked about it enough. And I'm seeing it in my own life. and I'm seeing it in the lives of people that I do life with. And I tease it this way: passion is not enough. Now, I define passion as work you love, so you can love your work and you could still flame out physically. We have to understand that, I'm always talking about the heart and loving the work. Well, you can have your heart fully engaged in your work. I mean, love it, die on a hill for it. I mean, just love it. But if you aren't taking care of yourself physically, now that could be several different ways. I don't need to belabor this. I think you all know how to fill in the blanks here. But whether or not you're working too much, you got a lot of stress, you're not eating right, you're not getting good sleep, you're not exercising. So let's just focus on those three. Let's say you're in love with your work, your heart's fully alive, fully engaged, but you don't have good nutrition. You don't have good sleep. You aren't getting good sleep. And you aren't exercising. At some point, high achievers, people that are going hard in their work, if they're not taking care of those three areas, it will take its toll on you. And physically, it can knock you out and knock you off the path. So this isn't just about, I'm not preaching that you're the most fit person in your office, and this isn't about taking pictures of yourself on Instagram so we can see how much weight you lift. That stuff is nauseating to me. Okay, what I'm saying is good nutrition so that you have good energy. Your body is a machine, and nutrition is what makes it run like the machine it's supposed to be. Optimal performance with your body is largely about nutrition. Sleep. Your body needs to recover. Your brain needs to recover. I'm going to talk a lot about sleep in the coming days. Got to sleep really well. And then third, exercise. Exercise, there's so much there on your thinking improves when you walk. All kinds of data on this. I'll be sharing stuff like this. Just the exercise alone relieves stress from the body. Some of you are in a toxic environment until you can get out of it. If you got a really good exercise regimen and learned how to sleep and to put a lot of that toxicity away to be able to get a good night's rest, and you're exercising and eating right, you can put up with a whole lot more than you realize. But when you aren't physically healthy, you will not, you cannot perform at the level that you need to perform. And I'm telling you, working and living on purpose, passion is not enough. You gotta have the physical edge, the physical ability to regenerate yourself each day, not just over the weekend. So please don't ignore it. I have at times, and it always catches up to me. And I'm not always talking about crisis level health problems. I'm just saying it can affect you big time. So don't ignore the physical when it comes to peak performance. Don't just think professional, and ignore the physical, because the physical affects our mental and emotional ability to perform. Don't forget that. 844-747-2577. Matthew's up in Grantsburg, Wisconsin. Matthew, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, thanks, Ken. I have a couple of choices coming up in my career. I wondered if you could share your perspective, maybe offer some alternative solutions.
You bet I can. All right, let's go with option 1 and 2. What's 1?
Well, one is my passion. I've followed the proximity principle. I was able to get into a top athletics program, one of the top 10 teams in the country, and volunteer coach there.
Nice.
My passion has been coaching and helping others and just being an influence on young people.
Okay.
So really, really thank you for the proximity principle.
You bet. Do you mind if I ask you what sport are you really fired up about coaching in?
Volleyball.
Okay, great.
Coaching volleyball.
And so right now you've got yourself into a top 10 D1 program. Did I understand that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you're a volunteer coach right now. Okay, and so how is that option
volunteer
one?
Coach.
How is that option one?
Well, that is leading to becoming an assistant coach full-time.
Got it.
For next season.
All right, totally
So
tracking.
that's my option one.
Okay.
So right now, there's not a lot of need for first-year assistants because of COVID. A lot of people are
Oh,
hanging
yeah.
out their jobs. And then there's some people that are losing their jobs that have more experience than I do that are then taking those
No question.
assistant positions.
Yeah, COVID has crushed athletic departments and some of the if you're outside of football or basketball, it's really hurt a lot of the other sports. Okay, so what's option two?
So there's not a lot of options there.
Yeah.
Option two is to continue to volunteer and work a part-time job for a different program. For this program, volunteering is full-time job. You're not doing anything else.
Wow.
I have another program that would allow me to work a part-time job, and they said they may be able to hire me when one of their other assistants moves on in the next year or two.
Option two, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. Option two doesn't mean that you're staying with that program forever, and that makes you somebody who is actually moved from volunteer coach into the ranks. Now you're in the club, and the connections are easier. There's so much benefit from that. How are you paying the bills right now when you're in a full-time volunteer position?
My wife is RN.
Great. So this is great news. Okay. Now, I was very definitive on that because that's what you gave me. Am I missing something that's making you still – because you called me going, Ken, option one or two. To me, number two is the clear choice. Am I missing something?
Well, my other option is to stay put where I am because right now the season's over. I've moved on to go back home living in Wisconsin, and we're very comfortable here. This is where our family is. We have free living because we have a cabin out in the woods. We love it here. We're looking to start a family. So it's like having all that, being able to make more money where I'm at right now.
How are you going to make more money? I don't understand. Now you're getting me. There's a lot of detail here.
Yeah.
Is option one? It made it sound like you were not where you're living.
Option one is taking the part-time position and volunteering at the next. Oh,
I thought that was option two.
No, that's option one.
Oh, I'm
option
so confused.
Option two is remain where I am in Wisconsin. I'm not volunteering anymore currently.
Okay, so you're not doing anything in volleyball right now.
Not currently, no.
Right, and you're saying, Ken, that's option two. I just go back home, and my wife's a full-time RN, and I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad, and we're going to live in the woods, and it's going to be wonderful. That's what you're telling me option two is.
Not stay-at-home dad. I'm still working.
Okay, well, I thought you were a full-time volunteer.
Not currently. I was last season.
Okay, so what's your
last season? Season's over. I'm in Wisconsin working.
Okay, I'm sorry. What's your day job?
Yeah. I'm a contractor.
Doing what?
Remodeling, repairing houses.
Okay. Well, what do you want to do, brother? Because you got this idea.
Volleyball.
That's what I thought. So to me, it's still option one.
Yeah.
Where's that going to take you? Where's that school? What state? Is it still in Wisconsin? Or you got to move.
It's Florida.
Oh, that's what this is all about. Now I know what's really going on. You're scared and probably really uncomfortable with the idea of leaving in the idyllic log cabin in Wisconsin to go to hot, humid Florida where you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And the wife really likes it in Wisconsin too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we went down and visited Florida too. She likes it there too, but
okay, but
we're comfortable where we are.
I know. Do you want to be comfortable or do you want to be a volleyball coach?
I want to be a coach.
Oh, there we go. Because that's what this is about. Comfort or doing what you were created to do. Well, what do you think I'm going to say?
Go to Florida.
Yes, you knew that when you called me, right?
Yeah, I guess I wanted permission.
I'm giving you permission. I thought I did 2 minutes ago. I feel like you're still hanging on for some reason. What are you hanging on to?
Just the progress that we're able to make financially is nice here. And then moving down to part-time when putting all that pressure back on my wife. I already volunteered for a season. And then
okay, hold on. All right. Okay, hold on. We got to dig in here. So what progress are you making financially? What are you trying to get out of debt? What are we talking about?
We're out of debt. We'll have our 20% for a house saved up this month.
Great.
And then we're trying to start a family.
Okay, but my point is you can delay coaching and keep volunteering if you want to and then get to where you want to be financially. It sounds like to me you're in good shape. You got no debt. You're saving for a down payment, which you can buy in Florida. or you guys could rent a little bit, and that's really not a bad decision financially. We're all in favor of renting at Ramsey Solutions if it allows you to save more and eventually get in the right house. Excuse me. I don't know what happened to my voice all of a sudden. So I'm okay if you delay coaching volleyball if you can stay in that volunteer position. But again, you're leaving Wisconsin and you're back and forth. You want to start a family. So I just think, I'm fine with the timeline. Get your financial house in order. I feel like you do. So I feel like the time is now to go. If you want to coach volleyball, you better go pretty soon. I wouldn't put it off, so I would stay in. So here's my point. You either go to Florida with the wife and you start your life there and you start your journey moving up the coaching ladder in volleyball, okay? You've done an incredible job. I'm going to tell you something. What I don't want to miss in this story is how you use the proximity principle to break into D1 coaching, which is not easy to do. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah. So, dude, that's where I'm going. But that's one option. And then the other option is you keep saving money, you keep doing your contract work, making good money. Your wife keeps doing it. We keep stocking up money until we get to a point where we go, okay, but that means you're still going to volunteer, which means you're not making as much money. So to me, it's like I don't see any other way around moving to Florida. So my vote is in. I vote Florida, Joe. Go, Matthew, go. All right, my time is almost up. But before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.